All right. Here we go, folks. I am testing out a new feature here. I'm actually testing on whether or not can I stream on 3 settings, both Rumble, um, Twitter, and what was the third one? Oh yeah, that would be Twitch. Not Twitch. Ha! YouTube. Ha! All right. So actually, we're gonna play a song here real quick because why not? I always like a good song before I start my day. And this is, let's see what we got. Actually, this would be the first song I ever heard by Miracle of Sound. My friend introduced it to me, and see if this plays. It's the original version of Commander Shepard by Miracle of Sound. Actually, we're going to do 2 songs here. Uh-oh. We are getting some distortion. I know why we're getting distortion. Give me a second. Oh, never mind. Turn off monitor. I never quite used a monitor correctly, so I don't know how well it works. I mean, the distortion could be the fact that we're streaming multiple sides. Yeah, let's take that out for now. Yeah, it's an experimentation. So what we're here is we are looking to stream, right? Yes, stream. That's it. Multi-stream chat. Hopefully something will come up. I don't know. Nope, just you two. Okay, never mind. Um, yeah, what we're going here to talk about. We're here to talk about procrastination. Why not? Because it's a fun subject, and I'm out of drink. Why is it a fun subject? Because it never ends. Procrastination is one of those things that you always think, "Hey, I can do it." Well, maybe no. Yeah, I can do it tomorrow. No, maybe Wednesday. Maybe no Wednesday. Wednesday's not good. Wednesday didn't look good. Well, let's check the calendar. What does the calendar say? The calendar says Thursday's much better, but we're not going to go to Thursday. We'll come back. We'll stick with what we're doing now. That's right. We're going to talk about procrastination right now, and I am the king of procrastination. You can ask any of my friends. Do I have friends? Yes, I have friends. They are scattered to the four winds right now because life's little games where they say, "Hey, guess what? We're going to move somewhere else," and that's fine. I have no problem with that. But yeah, I'm actually really good at procrastinating. Um, yeah. Sorry, my mind just went somewhere else. Yeah. Well, actually, it is going somewhere else. So recently, Maggie Grace has passed away, and she is an actress that's been in a lot of people's lives, affecting a lot of people over the ton. I don't want to say tons of years, but the excessive many moons. She is a phenomenal actress. There's been several phenomenal actresses over the years, and I happened upon a um, a video, and the video is from 1975. God, I'm old. I may have actually watched this episode of Carol Burnett Show. I think it was on the Carol Burnett Show. when I was that young. I don't know. We really didn't have too many channels to watch TV on that time. Um, but this is Maggie singing with Carol Burnett. Hopefully this won't get the distortion sound that we got on the Commander Shepard. It's Carol is sitting and introducing Maggie, and she wants her to teach her how to speak English. I can't speak English well, obviously, if you're listening to me here, but yeah, we'll see how. Let's see here. I got a couple notifications here. All right, yes, here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Maggie Smith. Would you do me a big favor?
Look how bright and vibrant she was.
Every time I'm on your show, Carol, I do you a favor.
Yes, that's true. Well, what I want you to do is to teach me. I want to learn to speak with an accent.
Well, you already do speak with an accent. Oh, I said, no, you want to learn to speak correctly. Oh, well, if it hadn't been for your silly revolution, there'd be no problem.
They always get a little testy around the bicentennial year.
Well, what sort of an accent do you want to learn?
English.
Well, oh, that's quite simple, darling. We'll have you speaking the Queen's English in no time at all. You're a very quick study. It won't take you any time.
That's lovely, but that's not the one I mean. I can't think of the type of it.
Well, do you want to speak like the Beatles do? You know, the Liverpudlian one. Is that the one you meant?
No, that's not. It's the one where they go, ow.
I know what you mean. What? Within the sound of Bow Bells. You want Cockney,
Cockney, that's it.
Well, okay,
yes.
Okay, I'm going to do a brief pause here. So, in the movie Mary Poppins, the original broadcast role, Dick Van Dyke, who is not English by any stretch of the, not from England. Sorry, let me change that. He was, they hired him to play the role, and they asked him to, what's the word I'm looking for? He decided to put a Cockney accent in his character. Oh, what was his character's name? I can't remember his name all of a sudden. And Dick Van Dyke, put the accent on there, and he didn't realize he was actually doing it wrong from anybody, but people didn't care. I mean, that's the fun part of playing these roles, is that over time, is that they don't really care sometimes of whether or not you got the accent right or not. Nowadays, though, of course, they jump down your throat, but it was at the time, he was Dick Van Dyke, and nah.
Try.
Okay.
Take the A sound.
Take the A sound.
Make it an I sound.
Make it an I sound.
Take the O sound.
Take the O sound.
Make it an ow.
Make it an ow.
Awfully good, old top. Now try a glottal stop.
A what?
A glottal stop.
Glottal stop.
What a lot of little bottles.
What a lot of little bottles.
God blimey, but ain't she the limey now?
I'm learning how. Take the A sound.
Take the A sound.
Make it an I sound.
Make it an I sound.
Take the O sound.
Take the O sound.
Make it an ow.
Make it an ow. Awfully good, you're doing great. Now drop your H's, mate.
How?
It ain't only the hurdling and the hopping over the high edges what hurts the horse's hooves. It's the hammer, hammer, hammer on the hard iron road.
Core blimey. But ain't she the limey now?
You're learning how. you teach me to talk the way them Texans do?
Buzz off, I ain't got the time. I'm a limey now. Wow.
Carol. You never told me why you wanted to learn Cockney. Why?
Well, there's this movie,
Flick.
about a girl,
No,
bird, who sells flowers.
Flowers.
Who meets a guy, bloke, who teaches her how, to talk like a lady.
Lady. Yeah, Carol, they made that film. My Fair Lady.
I know. But Maggie, they also made Godfather Part 2.
True.
So when they make My Fair Lady Part 2, I'm ready.
That makes two of us.
I knew I shouldn't have told her.
Take the A sound, make it an I sound. Take the O sound, make it an O. Tain't only the hurdling and the hopping over the eye edges what hurts the horse's hooves.
It's the hammer on the iron road.
Go blimey.
You got that?
Ain't we the limeys now?
Thank you so much.
Julie Andrews will be livid.
So isn't that just wonderful? That is just such a wonderful thing. Won at 74. Wow, she won at 74 with her. But, yeah, she was. It's kind of weird. As I grew up with her without knowing I grew up with her because it was, she was an iconic figure in that sense. So, crap, I was going to talk about something else. I hate it when my train of thought goes off the other derails at the station. Just one of those weird things in life. All right, that's I got to get a tack board so I can make it easy for this. Clearing that out. So yeah, that was Maggie and Carol Burnett, and that was always a wonderful thing. Oh yeah, that's what I was going to talk about. I should have an actual tick sheet right here, like this is what you're going to say. So I've been doing the 31 days of Halloween of horror, Halloween horror challenge. Actually, let me show you this here. I'm gonna show you the screen capture of this. It makes it quite easier to do. So this is a 31 days of the horror challenge, and the first day was a horror anthology, followed by Tim Burton on day 2. Day 3 was Revenge, which was for me Friday the 13th Part 1. Fourth was Down in the Underground. Now, didn't quite get that one right, and so sort of I had to look right up, and it's Labyrinth pretty much, and so I chose Dark City, which is a very underrated film for this time. And as someone pointed out, that the lead character was played by an actor that was what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, he was not evil. This actor usually nowadays plays a bad guy in this sense. There is a channel called that I watch for this stuff, and it's called Good Bad Flicks. It's an awesome channel, and we might be able to play that video. Ooh, they got a new one. Ooh, 5 overlooked horror films of 20, episode 21. Oh, let's watch that actually. Yeah, let's do that one right now. We'll do the reaction to that because it's a very good. Oop, let's mute that so I can skip by it, and then once I skip, we're gonna bring it up. So I am doing the 21 Days of Horror, and let me do the final one. Then there was Jordan Peele, easily. Nope. Although a couple other ones have been great. Ghost Story was Frighteners, which was yesterday, and then today being the 7th day is It's a movie with Samara Weaving, and I picked Ready or Not. That is the movie I picked for that one. And though she's done some really good horror films too. All right, so let's get into this, shall we? We'll watch this, and then we'll do the Dark City video tomorrow, which I really, really enjoyed. So we're going to experiment with this one together. All right, here we go. This is also, again, good, bad flicks. Recommend this channel if you have anything horror or non-horror, just movie related on its dialogue. He has some really great information and scope on films and such like that.
Land Down Under.
Oh,
While
let's try that
some
again.
of my favorite exploitation films come from the Land Down Under. While many of them are action, for October I'm focusing on horror. Here's 5 awesome horror
So I'm actually going to put Good Bad Flicks in the link below.
exploitation films you may have overlooked. Bloody Hell. Bloody Hell is a 2020 horror film from director Alistair Grierson.
Hair on a fairy
It's
tale.
about Rex, a guy who stops a bank robbery but then goes to prison for what he did to stop said bank robbery. Years later, when he gets out of prison, he tries to move far away from his hometown, but something unexpectedly awful happens. Don't watch the trailer, don't read anything about it, just go in blind. You'll be happy you did. This movie went in a direction that I absolutely was not prepared for,
Oh,
and
I'm
I
gonna have to
loved
watch
it
this
because
now.
of that. I've seen so many films, and having one that genuinely surprises me is incredibly rare. The movie didn't reinvent the wheel, but it did everything so well and hit the audience with so many unexpected moments, I was floored. I'm not talking twists, I'm talking just genuinely good filmmaking, keeping the audience on the edge of their seats for the entire film. I was also shocked to find out the director was the guy who did the 2011 film Sanctum, which I rather enjoyed. This is much smaller than that. The movie did get a Blu-ray release. It's streaming on Tubi, Hoopla, and Plex. You can also rent it video on demand. I highly recommend this one. Undead. Undead's a 2003 comedy horror film from the Spirit Brothers. It's about a small fishing village in Australia that's hit with meteorites that turns the population into zombies. A small group of uninfected locals band together and try to get out of the village alive. This movie shows the power of ingenuity. The Spirit Brothers are visual effects guys, and on top of directing, producing, editing, and writing the film, they did all the visual effects themselves. The entire film cost roughly around $1 million dues.
Oof.
The creativity in this film is just pouring out.
Roger
It
Corman
reminded me of
level.
how I felt watching Peter Jackson's Bad Taste for the first time. It's ridiculously bloody and incredibly inventive. It's also hilarious, if you like dark humor. I know by this point you're tired of zombie films, but this one is by far one of the most unique and original ones out there. You will never be able to figure out what's going on until it's finally revealed. Also, keep in mind, this movie's from over 20 years ago, 7 years before The Walking Dead, which ended up being largely responsible for zombie fatigue. The movie won an award for Best Visual Effects at the Australian Film Institute Awards. This gained the Spirit Brothers a lot of attention, which led to them
Daybreakers.
directing
I remember
their
that one.
incredibly unique take on vampires, Daybreakers. While I don't want them to get typecast, I kind of hope they make an incredibly unique take on werewolves at some point. The movie was restored by the Australian label Umbrella and is on Blu-ray.
I think I've seen
It's available
Undead.
for streaming on Shudder and AMC Plus. Wormwood. Okay, another zombie
That's a good one,
film, but
actually.
another unique zombie film. Much like
I've seen
Undead,
Wormwood.
I guarantee you haven't seen a zombie film like this. Wormwood, Road to the Dead is a 2014 action horror film from director Kia Roach Turner. It's about Barry, a mechanic who lives in the Australian outback with his wife and daughter. One night, a meteor shower causes people from all over to become zombies. They like their meteor zombies down there. He teams up with other survivors to try to get away from this madness. The team discovered that at night, the zombies release a flammable gas, so they modify a car engine to run on zombies. The movie moves at a breakneck pace, and while it is a horror movie, it does have some humor to it. It premiered in September of 2014 at Fantastic Fest. It had a limited Australian theatrical release in early 2015. It was only supposed to be a one-night event, but the demand was so high, it continued to run in Australian theaters for weeks. It was then released video on demand and Blu-ray by Shout Factory. The film was made for about $160,000, which is staggering. There is so
Wow.
much going on that it looks like a movie that costs easily quadruple that. It was such a hit, they plan to make a 10-episode TV series called Wormwood Chronicles of the Dead. They released a 7-minute short in 2017, but for whatever reason, the series was never made. Instead, a few years later, in 2021, they released the sequel, Wormwood Apocalypse.
I have to watch that one.
Wormwood Road of the Dead is a highly entertaining and very slick zombie film.
It is.
It's available on Blu-ray and streaming
Recommend
on
it.
AMC Plus. The sequel is also on Blu-ray and is streaming on Tubi. Rogue. Rogue's a 2007 horror film from director Greg McLean. You should recognize that name, as he was the director who brought us the wonderful Wolf Creek series. The movie's about an American journalist working on a story about the Australian outback. He goes on a tour with some locals and some tourists when their boat sinks and they have to seek shelter on a small island. The island is sinking, and the people are picked off by a very large and very hungry crocodile. What a great movie. Much like Wolf Creek, the movie does a good job of letting you get to know the characters before putting them in this horrible situation. So many modern horror films seem to rush right into the kills, which deflates about 90% of the tension because you don't really care about any of the people. Rhoda Mitchell does a wonderful job as the
Wow.
tour guide Kate. This was also the movie where I discovered that she's Australian. Even Sam Worthington was good, which is interesting because I've seen him in so many other films and he's been a plank of wood. I think with him, it really does come down to the director being able to pull the right performance out of him. The crocodile looks fantastic. It's also really bloody. While in some movies, even the delightful Lake Placid, the crocodile attacks were fairly muted. In this, the victims get shredded. The final act is one of the most tense, nail-biting sequences I've seen. I really had no idea who was going to survive. Great stuff. The movie's on Blu-ray, but it seems to be out of print. It's currently streaming on Stars and Plex.
Ugh.
The Reef. The Reef's a 2010 horror film from director Andrew Traucki. It's about a group of friends who are sailing along the Great Barrier Reef. They accidentally crash the boat, which sinks and leaves them stuck out in the water. As if that wasn't bad enough, they are then hunted by a great white shark. This is a very intense movie. It's often been compared to a similar film, Open Water, but in my humble opinion,
Which means I'm
this
less likely
one
to watch it.
is much better. The sharks they used in the movie are real. While yes, they had some special effects and whatnot, but the sharks and the shark footage they used was all real, giving a very uncomfortable realism to the film. This was the director's second feature, with the first being Black Water, about some people who were getting snacked on by a giant crocodile. I haven't seen that one, so I don't know how it is. The Reef is apparently based on the true story of Ray Boundy, the sole survivor of a boating incident. Although the chief of tourism in Australia was worried about all these killer crocodile and shark movies coming out of Australia, especially since ones like this were being labeled as based on a true story. He thought it would hurt tourism. The movie had a standalone sequel, The Reef Stalked, which came out in 2022. I haven't seen that one yet either, so I don't know how it turned out. It did have the same director, so that's a good sign. The Reef plays as a very solid double feature with Rogue. It's available on Blu-ray. It's also available for streaming on Amazon Prime and Hoopla. The sequel is also on Blu-ray and streaming on Shudder. All these movies are worth your time. I've seen so many Australian films over the years, and largely they do not disappoint. Between Japan and Australia, I think they hold most of my favorite movies from outside of the US. South Korea, too. And Thailand. And France. Okay, there's a ton of countries that are killing it right now. I wonder what the next video will be. I'll see y'all next time.
And we'll stop it there. So yeah, go to Good Bad Flicks, watch several of the stuff, and they did a great job. All right. Yeah, I think we're going to end it there. I was going to talk about something else, but I keep forgetting what it was. Maybe it was procrastination. I don't know. It's getting there. We're getting to the procrastination part because, yeah, whatever whatever you can do today, you can do tomorrow too. So until then, this is my name is Shadow. Those who know me better as other names and other ideas, and if you really want to get my real name out, maybe one day I'll say it. But until then, this is for Procrastination 5.1, because yesterday was just a brief there we go. And that would be that. Until then, I say this, good night. Yeah, I can speak. We'll fix that and edit. Have a good night, good day, and good evening.